Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Lilian. Today we are going back out in the garden to get the first seeds into the ground, which is very exciting to me. And let me show you outside. This is insane. The weather is insanely beautiful. So in my opinion, we just have to go out there. But first, let me show you what's the game plan for today. Okay, so this is the game plan I made for this year's garden. We have the raised bed and the two in-ground beds. This is supposed to be roughly on scale, so 1 centimeter on here is like 20 centimeters in real life. There are two areas that already have stuff in them, the herbs and the garlic, so I crossed that out before I started filling everything else in. Then everything is written out except for the sugar snaps and the tomatoes, because that's a small space. This already has a trellis, so that's why they are planted out there. And hopefully I can train those up and remove the bottom branches and stuff so that I could grow green beans, bush beans, underneath them. I did also try to put stuff in front that I would have to access regularly, like lettuce and radish. We would use those almost daily for salads and stuff. So those are in front, and then carrots and leeks are in the back, which I hopefully or probably won't have to touch until we have to harvest them. And then the in-ground beds have, one is totally dedicated to kale, and we will see how that goes. And then in the other, the longer in-ground bed, we will put one big zucchini plant on the end. Hopefully it gets enough sun, we will see. And then the rest will be filled in with onions and beetroot. So that's the plan. Then I also did try to take the amount of sunlight into consideration. The raised bed is south facing, so it gets a lot of sun, and these two are on the side of the house, which get a little bit less sunlight. Now in summer it does get quite a bit of sunlight, but not that much. So with choosing which seeds go on the side of the house versus the ones that go in the raised bed, I did try to put the ones that could tolerate less light over here. And of course the bigger plants, like the kale plants and the zucchini, I purposefully put them on the side of the house because the soil in my raised bed is a lot better quality. I would like to use that for more crops, and if I would put a zucchini plant in here, I wouldn't be able to put anything else in there. So that is the game plan. So this is everything that I want to have in the ground by the end of the day. Today is the 4th of May, and this is everything that I could technically sow outside in April. So maybe there's some other crops that I can already sow outside since it's technically May, but it's the beginning of May, so I'm just going to give them another week or two just to be on the sure side. I did already sow the potatoes, and the raspberry already has a container. I will show you those in a second. Okay, we are outside. Watch this. It is very bright, but we can work with it. I want to take you around the corner and show you some things that I did before off camera, partly. Because there have been some changes since we've been in the garden last together. Firstly, like I told you before, the raspberry plant and the potatoes now have their container. So I just filled it with compost, nothing fancy to it. The potatoes, however, I did add a little bit of feed, even though it's already compost, just because they are heavy feeders. And as you can tell, hopefully, it is not filled all the way up. So I will be able to hill this up every time it grows, so that I can... Hey, wait a second. I think that's a sprout of the potato. Cute. So hopefully it will grow even more potatoes, because when you hill it up, it will start growing more potatoes in the soil that you give it extra. Then I also put a bit of chicken wire on top, because I could already tell that the cats were also getting into this thing and digging in it, and I didn't want that to happen, so I just put this on there to prevent that from happening. Then also, it's looking a bit pathetic, but I think it's just trying to get used to its new environment. And it's a little heavy, so it's tipping over. But this is the oregano we bought together. I think it will come back to life when it gets used to everything. So I'll just keep watering it. The thyme is looking amazing. I sowed this in last year, so it's a year old already. And then also I made these racks to go on top of the raised bed, or in the in-ground bed, to prevent the cats from digging in here. And I also want to make 2 more of those for that bed there, but I haven't yet. I just didn't get around to doing that. That being said, let's get to sowing. One thing to know about me is that I often try to grow things slightly closer together than is recommended. That way I hope to get more out of the garden, since I am working with a limited space. Doesn't always work, but most of the time it does. Now, there are a few strategies that I am using here. With some of the crops where I just want or only have space for one plant, I usually sow in 2 seeds. This way, even if one doesn't germinate, I still have the other one. And if both germinate, I can just pick the weakest one and pull that one out. With other crops, I am sowing in rows, not really paying attention to the space between the individual plants. Like with carrots, those I will thin out later once they have germinated. And of course, there are the crops that I space out individually. Also, there is one interesting thing that I am doing this year with the leeks. So last year I tried to start a lot of my seeds indoors, which I quickly found out it doesn't work if you don't have grow lights. So this year I am sowing everything directly outside. However, when I do have the resources to get myself a proper seed starting setup, I will go back to starting seeds indoors. Just a little spoiler for the future. But what that has to do with the leeks is that, for what I understand how you are supposed to do this, is you start leeks indoors and then you plant them out. And when you plant them out, you plant them a bit deeper, almost like you do with tomatoes. That way, more of the plant ends up underneath the soil and thus white, which is the part that is better tasting and better for cooking. However, I am sowing outside, so what I want to try this year is, when these seedlings are old enough, I will dig them up and plant them back right in the same spot, but deeper, and see if that works for us. Anyways, you may have noticed that I have put the spacing that I'm using and such on the screen for you guys, so now enjoy. Alright, so that's looking beautiful. There is one more thing that I want to do with you guys today. I have these 2 containers with strawberry plants. There's a couple of things I want to do. The obvious thing is remove the dead leaves from last year. I want to get rid of all of this dry and dead stuff. And this is all new growth from this year, so that's very, very exciting. Then also I want to take them out of the pot if I can, because if you can see they have sunken down quite a bit. So I want to take them out, backfill it, then put them back in. Well, before I put them back in I also want to give them some feed, because they are very heavy feeders. So I will do that now.
By then I should be doing fine. I'm feeling heated for no reason, and I'm not trying to start a fight. Yeah, I wish I could know why I'm feeling this way, 'cause I'm losing my head and I'm losing my faith, and I'm gone, so gone. Is that enough for me to just take my time? Because I'm losing my friends and I don't know why. I'm gone, so gone. Yeah. What's the point of trying if I make the same mistakes? Probably better if I'm lying. Probably better off this way if you don't go with me. Stay away from me, 'cause baby, life would be better if I just didn't drag you down. So call me in the morning, 'cause by then I should be doing fine. I'm feeling heated for no reason, and I'm not trying to start a fight. Yeah, I wish I could know why I'm feeling this way, 'cause I'm losing my head and I'm losing my faith, and I'm gone.
Alright, we are done. This is not the most flattering angle, but that's okay. With the hair in a ponytail at least. But it will do for now, because I'm tired and I don't feel like fixing myself. We have fixed a lot today. A lot of seeds in the ground. We only have stuff to do like tomatoes, zucchini needs to go in, the bush beans need to go in, but everything else, if I don't forget anything, is in the ground. Also, I think I found the ant nest in one of those strawberry bushes, which is interesting to say the least. And another thing that's very nice to see already, let me show you. The strawberries are already starting to flower. So that is very, very exciting, because that means that strawberries are not that far away. So yeah, we are looking amazing. So thank you so much for watching. I will have to go clean up this mess now, so we can use the barbecue tonight. Also very exciting. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope I'll see you next time. Bye guys.